Welcome back into another new session with me, Geetu. So, today we will be learning a very new chapter called Consumer Protection. Now, this chapter is a pretty small chapter when compared to any other chapters in your syllabus of second PUC Business Studies. So, this chapter is easy and it is very much interesting for you to learn because you're learning something new, and this learning what you're doing in this chapter called consumer protection is only for you. That means you are going to be benefited through this particular chapter. So why? Because you're going to know what's your rights, what's your responsibilities, when the manufacturers are cheating, when the middlemen are cheating, you know how you can protect yourself. So that is why this chapter is important and you need to learn and understand this particular chapter. I hope you have listened to all the sessions of marketing and all the other sessions whichever I have taught you. Okay, very soon we are going to close down our portions. So please ensure that you are understanding and listening to all the videos. So from whom are we protecting? We are protecting it from unscrupulous manufacturers and retailers and wholesalers who try to sell the products at a very expensive rate, or they want to adulterate the product. So there is a separate act that is being made by the government, that is being created by the government, and it's been registered. That's called as the Consumer Protection Act of 1986. So this would come as a one marker. They would ask you which act is it highlighted to. So you need to know that it's highlighted to Consumer Protection Act of 1986. Now, they always say the consumers are the king. Okay, why do you consider the consumers to be the king? Because they are the ones who, if they are not there, your products will not be sold into the market. So, consumers are considered to be king for buying your products. So, what are you going to be learning? This is the mind map of the chapter. Please ensure to write it down and take it down. These are the topics you will be studying. Now you ask me, what are the topics that keep repeating most of the time? These are the topics. Now consumer rights keeps repeating, responsibilities keep repeating. Then you have redressal agencies that keep repeating. NGOs come for a 5 marker, which will be called as practical oriented question. Then you have legal protection of consumers coming for probably 2 markers. Then you have, yeah, meaning of consumer protection, importance of consumer protection, which will come for a 4 marker. So there's not much to study in this chapter, but definitely at least 4 marks plus 4 marks, 8 marks would come from this chapter. So what is that we are going to be completing today? We'll complete the meaning, we'll complete the importance, and we will complete the legal protection of consumers. Below legal protection, I have taken 7 or 8. So probably you can learn the easy ones. There are, I think, 9 or 10. 9, I think there is, but I've only taken 7 or 8. So that's more than enough for you to learn. So I've already mentioned this Consumer Protection Act 1986. It's a very small topic. It's like a paragraph. Okay. So you already know of consumer protection. Now, who's a consumer? He is said to be the king. Okay, why? It's a very big marketplace and he keeps trading, he keeps buying and selling goods. He doesn't sell, sorry, he buys goods whatever he needs. And he's having the free will to buy the goods from various other retailers or manufacturers. He's called the king in the free market because he can purchase whatever products he wants. He can purchase any product he wants from any from any marketer or from any manufacturer. So what are they saying? They say that the manufacturers or whoever is producing the products, that's the manufacturer, the wholesaler, and the retailer, needs to be aware. Why do they need to be aware? Because when they are selling the products to the consumer should not be cheated. So that is where it says the earlier approach at caveati emptor, which means let the buyers be aware, has now been changed to let the sellers be aware. So before, we always tell ourselves, oh, we keep checking 100 times how we are buying things, or where exactly we are researching to buy, which thing is good, which thing is bad, all that we keep checking. But now what they're saying, when the sellers are selling the products, they need to ensure that they are not cheating the consumers. So, however, with the growing competition and the attempt to increase their sales and the market shares, these manufacturers and providers, they feel tempted, and they feel to they start ensuring that they somewhere start adulterating the products, and they somewhere start cheating the customers. This is something that's very common, which keeps happening to us. Example, in the advertisements, the most of the advertisements, we always see the products so delicious. Let's take for example biscuit itself. We see that the product is so delicious, it's baked really well, the biscuits are so yummy to eat. But in reality, if we buy and eat the biscuit, it actually tastes like medicine. So what do they say? These are how people are getting cheated by the manufacturers. What is the meaning of consumer? I already told you the same thing. I put it here for you, so I'm not going to that. So now the importance of consumer protection, I have put it this way in the form of a diagram. Also I've included in the next slide. So this again would come for a 4 marker, here again would come for a 4 marker. So please ensure you're learning this topic. Don't leave this topic, because it's a very simple topic. So the Consumer Protection Act was registered in the year 1986. It came into existence. Now, what is the main purpose of it? It's nothing but you need to educate the consumers about their rights and responsibilities. They need to know if they get cheated, where they need to go and find help, where they need to register their complaints. They need to know. Okay, so what is the importance of the consumer protection? Now, if you think from the point of view of the customer or the consumer, now most of us, let's say even for example you and me, we are very ignorant. We don't know that we have these rights which we can actually fight for. We are very unorganized customers, and we are spread widespread exploitation of the consumers. Many people keep exploiting our rights. We don't know about it. So what is it from consumer point of view? What is the importance for us to know about consumer protection? That is the first one. The second part of the importance is from the point of view of business. So what are we trying to say? The business should understand that these are the things that the business should follow. Okay, so long term interests of the business, that means if the business want to stay uh, grow and survive in the if the business wants to survive, then they have to ensure that they are not cheating the customers. If they want to grow on a long rate, they need to know how exactly they can win the hearts of the customers. So that's nothing but long term interest of the business. Business uses society's resources. Then moral justification, government intervention, social responsibility. Again, these two will come for a 4 marker. The same thing, I put it in the form of a chart, so that if it you want to remember it this way also, well and good, you can remember it. It's the same. Down to the importance from the viewpoint of the consumer. Why is it important from the consumer to know what is the use of consumer protection? So what are they saying? These consumers don't even know that they have rights. They have rights means we have what is our right? Our birthright is that we can stay in our family, we can speak to our parents, we can ask them whatever we want. That's our birthright. But the consumer's birthright is nothing but they need to understand they have rights, they have responsibilities, and they need to be educated. They cannot be ignorant. So that is the reason nowadays this chapter has been included in our second PUC syllabus, as well as further you go, you have corporate social responsibility when you go to your degree. So that's nothing but it teaches you what are your rights, what are your responsibilities. So even in case you get cheated, you know how to deal your problem. So under consumer ignorance, what are they saying? The consumer needs to know their rights, needs to know what kind of what kind of rights or what are their responsibilities, how exactly they need to be educated. So when you're talking about unorganized consumers, what are they saying? They say that in India we do have consumers organizations which are working in this direction. Adequate protection is required to be given to consumers till these organizations become powerful enough to protect and promote the interests of the consumers. We have separate cells, or let's say redressal agencies, where people can go and they can file a complaint or file a case there, and depending on the case they would the opponent or the opposite party would be called, and they will actually have to submit a lot of proof on their products being adulterated. So what are they saying? These are nothing but on certain countries like India, they need to understand, or they need to keep educating people. Why? Because we Indians are least bothered who cheats us. Why? Because until we really get cheated, we really don't understand. So moving down to the next point is widespread exploitation of consumers. Most of the time, consumers get exploited. Talk about ourselves, we also get exploited most of the time when we end up buying products. Example, people come to your doorstep and they say, please buy these products. These products are really good. You have a lot of advantage. What is happening? We get so easily brainwashed looking at the advertisements, and we end up going and buying the products. But at the same time, when we start using the product, we understand then that we have falsely spent so much of money on the product. So what are they saying? The advertisements are misleading. Like example, when you talk about Surf Excel and you talk about Ariel, how many times does a really difficult stain, is it really easy to wash off? No, you definitely have to give it to a dry cleaner, or you need to use some kind of acid set so that the dirt or the particular stain gets washed away. Otherwise, just by using Surf Excel and Ariel, I don't think any dirty stains for that matter or oil stains gets washed away. So what is happening? We are getting misled by the advertisements, and then we end up buying the wrong product. So that is why people are saying, you being as consumers or customers, you need to understand that these are your rights. Okay, and people who are trying to cheat you all, you don't have to get cheated. So these are the 3 points when it comes under consumer. On the viewpoint of the business, what should the business do? The first one is long term interest of the business. They need to the enlightened business realize that it is their long term interest to satisfy their customers. So what are they saying? If you are producing the right kind of products to the customers regularly every single month is going to buy the same product even without checking again and again. Why? They're satisfied with the product that you're buying. So that is the reason they're saying the business people should understand that they are serving the long term customers. They're not serving them for a very short term. So the motive of profit making or profit maximization would also get fulfilled. Now the second one is business uses the society's resources. Now what is this society resources? They start providing products and they render services which are in the public interest. That means what? Just because the society people, the customers need the products, the business is providing the products, and they are also providing them confidence, telling that please use the products. There's nothing wrong with you using the products. So that is the meaning of business uses society's resources of trust. Okay, they are telling the customers, don't worry, use our products are safe to use. This is also shared through advertisements, right? Social responsibility. When I tell you social responsibility, by now you know it refers to voluntary association of the business to do good for the society. So, same thing here. There are various interest groups of people who are in the society. So what are they saying? When the business is serving the society, they are serving many people. They are not serving just one sort of consumers. You are serving, you are also serving the higher group, the middle range, and the lower level of customers. So what are they saying? You have various of ranges of people who are there in the society who you are serving. So when you're providing your products, you should ensure that it meets the needs of everyone. It does not only meets the need of the high class people and then leaves the lower group. Then the fourth one is moral justification. What is moral justification? They need to ensure that they are not using adulterated products, they are not cheating the consumers, they are not doing any unfair trade practices like defective products. You're packaging it and you're selling it really good. You're not using spoiled goods, or you're not adulterating the product. Example is what here. Uh, instead of using ghee, people start using vanaspati dalda into their cooking. So when you go to purchase and eat the product, you start suffering with a lot of stomach pain or indigestion. Why? Because of the adulteration of vanaspati. The food looks very rich and tasty, but after you eat is when you get food poisoned. So what is all these? And one more thing I wanted to tell you. See, there was this place. I think I have already shared the story with you, but there is lot of this adulteration that takes place. Like example, I was telling you one of the train stations in India. I'm not really sure which exact state. I'm not. I don't really remember the state. But what happens here is these tea when you travel by train, you have a lot of these tea walas and your chai wala and your coffee walas going. These people, there was an advertisement, or let's say there was a research done by this news agency where they took an interview of these tea people and this coffee people, okay, chai walas and your coffee walas. And when they took the interview, they found out these tea walas and coffee walas took them to their homes and showed them that there is like a paint. I really don't know what's the cost of that paint, where they dilute this paint within water, and for the smell not to be detected, they add another powder which smells like milk. And then your milk is done, and they put your tea decoction and sugar, and they make tea and coffee. But in reality, nowhere there is even 1% of milk that's been added to the product here. And thousands of people every single day keep buying and drinking this tea and coffee, and one single day, or let's say one fine day, you start saying that you're ended up having kidney trouble and cancer. Why? Because of all these unadulterated products. Like example, pepper, for instead of pepper they use papaya seeds. What is all this? All these adulteration and products where you are crossing your moral justification. You know it's right, but still you're doing it. Correct? So next one is government intervention. So what are they saying here? The government is also putting their heads into it, and somewhere they also um, they also need to, probably sometimes they cheat the people. Sometimes they ensure that they are giving a warning to the business, telling that you cannot be doing this, you need to take care of the consumers. So what are they saying? A business engaging in any form of exploitative trade practices would invite the government intervention or action. This can impair and tarnish the image of the company. Thus, it's advisable that business organization voluntarily resort to such practices. So, what are they saying? Any time if the government does a raid, like recently, I saw one of the news agencies where they were taking the cameras into this mixture making our snacks what people usually have. So these mixture making factory, or let's say go down, where literally all this bundis and the chips and everything that is being fried is thrown onto the ground, where people don't even use their slippers and to walk. And there are so many people who are not even wearing masks, and the place is so dirty where this mixture and this chips and all that is being fried. And later what's happening is the same thing is packed so neatly, and it's been distributed to several other places, and consumers start buying these products. So what are they saying? They are they're saying that the government always keeps an eye on the consumers. Wherever there is some adulteration that's taking place, if the government gets to know from the consumers, then the person, that's, let's say, the organization or the factory, is going to get closed up, and they need to pay a compensation to the consumers. Now the next topic on to is legal protection. I told you this until now has not come, but even if it comes, it'll come as a 5 marker, or it may come as a 4 marker, or it can come as a 2 marker. Now, what is this Indian legal framework? These are acts which has been provided by the government, and anytime you see that you're getting cheated, you can file your cases below these acts. And even the business organizations will be little careful when they are dealing with consumers, because consumers have all the right to go to the court, and the business would get sued. Acts. I just told you I have put around 7 acts, more than enough for you to learn. So I'm not going to go in detail, okay, because the notes are already here, which you can easily understand. So the first one is Indian Contract Act of 1872. Now, what is it? The Act lays down the conditions in which the promises made by parties to a contract will be binding on each other. Binding. See, I'm literally reading every sentence here so that it's easy for you to understand. Literally will be binding means both are agreeing, okay, agreeing to each other on whatever is there in the contract. So there is a contract which they are saying that, okay, so and so things should be followed. We are not supposed to cheat the consumers, and this they are putting the signature. So both the parties are agreeing to the particular contract. This act also specifies the remedies which are available in case if any one of the party breaches means breaks the contract, if there's any break in the contract. So how many parties are we talking about? One party here, one party here. So if this two parties can also be business, probably one party, and another party can also be consumer. So what are they saying? Even if one does not follow, then there's a lot of let's say remedies that has to follow. These remedies can be in the form of money, can be in the form of let's say stopping the adulterated product and restarting your new manufacturing of the product, all these things. The second one is the Sale of Goods Act 1930. Now, what exactly is the Sale of Goods Act 1930? The act, it provides some safeguard and relief to the buyers and the goods. See, word itself is telling you sale of goods, okay? What are they saying? In case the goods what you are manufacturing does not come into the conditions like how you are registered with the government, where according to the government registration you're not producing the goods, you're not providing the goods, then it is again not ethical the way you're producing the goods. Like, just for the sake of government registration and approval, you are ensuring that your goods are up to the mark, but in reality if you see your goods are not up to the mark, it's really of it's a very low level or low graded adulterated goods. So what are they saying in that case? Then it will also, they'll have to ensure that these you can file a case below this act, and the buyers whoever are there, they can get relief from your goods which they have bought. One is the Consumer Protection Act 1986. Now what is it? Who is getting protected here? Consumers are getting protected here. Against what? Against defective goods, deficiency services, unfair trade practices, and forms of exploitation. So when you get cheated here, when a consumer gets cheated, they know that there is an act which is protecting them. That's 1986 Consumer Protection Act. So what they can do? There is 3 levels. That means court cases you can go and file. What are the 3 forums? Okay, the first one is a district, second one is a state, and third one is the national commission. So if you're not happy with the solution or the justification that's provided by district, you can go to the state. If you're not happy with the state, whatever justification is done, you can go to the national. So, so the next, Prevention of Food Adulteration Act. So anytime if you if you feel that you're getting adulterated on the oils that you're using, the cooking oils or any food article for that matter, you can register a court case under this particular act against prevention of food adulteration. Then the next one is the Standards of Weights and Measures Act 1976. What exactly is this? You know the weighing machine that you have. Most of them in those days they used to keep this iron butts below. That's the weighing measurements you have, right? The 5 kg, 10 kg weight. That they would keep it below the particular I would repeat myself. Those days, you would actually see these weighing machines that we usually have. Now only we have the electronic weighing machines. Those days, we did not have any electronic weighing machine. We had those manual weighing machines like you actually see here. So, what used to happen? We used to have those manual weighing, let's say measurement index, which you had to actually put on one side. The other side you would put rather rice or wheat or whatever you wanted to buy. These people used to adulterate. That's the sellers used to what they used to do is they used to cheat the customers or the consumers. Like how? They used to keep a magnet below the weighing machine and then keep this weighing, let's say the weighing butt below the weighing machine. So what used to happen is, in reality, if you want to buy, like, let's say 2 kgs of dal, the minute they put 1 kg of dal, it would actually show it's heavy, it's done. So where exactly they would keep it? Like, let's say this is the diagram here, right? Let me select a highlighter for you so that I can show. So this is where one side they would keep the weighing, those let's say those weighing machine, the weights, and here they would keep the dal and rice. So below this they would keep a magnet and keep this weighing, let's say uh, the weighing measurements below here. So what would happen is, these people, they will keep the normal weighing scales here, and they would keep dal here. And then if you are, let's say, buying 2 kgs of dal or 3 kgs of dal, the minute when 2 kgs is what, it will actually show it's full. Okay, so what is this? All this is nothing but malpractices, okay, where they're showing underweights or under measures. But in reality, we would not even get to know this. Why? Because we don't really have weighing scales at home. Okay. The next one is the Trademark Act 1999. Now, what exactly is this Trademark Act? Do you know that all these Google, Nikon, Samsung, Coca-Cola, all these names and their products are registered in the government, and it has its own trademark. Okay, that's nothing but logo, which nobody else can actually use. Now, still, we see that Nike has its own trademark, but they would actually say, oh, this is Nike brand. But in reality, it will not even look anything close to Nike. Like, let's say your jeans, your Levi's jeans, let's say your Samsung phone. In reality, it would not look like the original product, but they would say, no, 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 it is the original product. Why? Because they're camouflaged or they're cheating by using the trademark of the companies. So the last one is the Competition Act of 2002. What is this Competition Act? Everybody is running. That's the business people, and the competition is so high in the market that everybody wants to run behind one or the other product. Because of this, what is happening? The consumers are getting cheated in between. The consumers are getting hampered, or the consumers are getting hampered in between. So what are they saying? When these people are literally running behind one another, that's the business is running behind one another, the business, that is the other businesses, are also getting cheated in between. Okay, so what is happening? One business, even if they are not doing any adulterated products, or let's say manufacturing any adulterated products, looking at others, these people also feel like adulterating their products. So this is hampering the market in which we are all living. So let's move on. So, any doubts you have, any questions you have, please ensure that you are leaving a comment, you're contacting me, you're letting me know how exactly you want things to go, how very useful was it the topic to you, because we started off with this new chapter called consumer protection, and it's very important for you to understand and learn this particular chapter. So today I have already told you the topics that we have completed is importance of consumer protection. Then we have studied about the legal framework, the acts which was created so that to ensure that the consumers are not getting affected. So any doubts again, any questions you have, any feedback you have, please let me know. I will ensure to go ahead and make help you. Okay, so thank you so much.